Hello there and welcome to another live chapter reading for Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Today I shall be reading from Avenging Devil Part 2, Satan's Devils MC San Diego number 4. Chapter 1, Niran. I don't have to ask the identity of the man who's calling the shots. There's only one person who burst into Sappy's apartment and talked to her using his fists, the infamous Duke. Time seems to freeze as the man called Slit holds a gun to my head and my mind fills with rapid-fire questions. How the fuck did he find her? Why didn't I know he was close? Why had all the warnings we'd put into place fail? Instead of my life, it's the last few minutes that flashed before my eyes. Kid entering all light-hearted and smiling, carrying those pizza boxes that now lie ruined onto the floor next to his dead body. Kid, the young man with so many hopes and dreams, and yet who'd been given no time to achieve them. I hadn't been quick enough. If I'd been faster, nimbler, maybe I could have gotten the drop on them. My fucking leg given way, sending me crashing to my knees. Vulnerable, Slit had been able to overpower me. Some fucking saviour I am. I can't even protect the woman I vowed to, nor the prospect who'd barely begun to live his life. The only mercy was his death had been quick, and I doubt Kid had time to consider his impending doom. Now I'm staring at the wrong end of the gun, seething at the useless killing of the prospect while Duke uses his fists on Sappy. I can barely contain my rage, but control it I have to if there's any chance of helping her now. A clear head is required to come up with a plan, though it's a long shot to find anything that might work. The one aim I have left in life is to fulfil my promise of bringing every man present as painful a death as I can make it. But the gun to my head suggests getting my vengeance may require me crawling up out of hell. So be it. I'll be bringing the devil back with me. One thing for certain, they are not going to escape what's coming to them. I'll fucking haunt them for the rest of their miserable lives. Closing my eyes momentarily, I apologised to Kid for putting him in this situation, and then reopened them knowing I'm going to put on the performance of my life, and that I've got to sound convincing. I'm no use to Duke. It's Sappy he's come for, and once he takes her, her life isn't going to be worth living. They've already killed Kid without blinking an eye, not even bothering to ask his name. I'm facing the same sentence unless I come up with something fast. I can't afford to die, can't lose my chance to make Duke pay for all the times he's hurt her, both then and now. Every blow, every punch and every kick, every pain he ever caused her will be paid back with the type of interest that could make any loan shark blink. He'll wish he was dead long before I end him. But I've got to get on his right side first, and even then there's a high risk my plan won't work. When Sappy's curled up in a ball of pain, he loses interest in her, and now turns his attention my way. Who the fuck are you? He asked me directly. Why are you with my old lady? You fucking are. Oh, fuck it, I don't even care. He nods at the man holding the gun. Just kill the fucking nigger, I don't want him bleeding in the same air. I hear the gun cocking and I know I have a split second for him to change his mind. Hold up, I speak fast. Let's not be hasty here. I'm the reason you found her. From her position on the floor, Sappy, horrified, stares at me. I force my eyes away from the horror and betrayal in hers as I take the calculated gamble that someone's either been feeding him information or could have dropped clues for Grit to find the man who Duke seems to look for information. At least I've got his attention. Duke holds up his hand, indicating a stay of execution, but I don't get elated. There's no guarantee anything will work. At his raised eyebrow, I give him more, starting by answering his questions. My name's Niran. I ride with the Satan's Devils MC. He eyes me suspiciously. Where's your fucking cut? I nod to the back of the door where I'd automatically hung it when I walked in. Sappy's triggered by that piece of leather, so I'd taken it off to help her see me just as a man. Now Duke walks over and examines it. Satan's devils won't help the crazy wolves, he murmurs half to himself, but loud enough for me to hear. I treat it as a question that needs answering. Maybe not, I agree, but I would. The devils are a fucking pansy club. I should never have joined them. Sneering, I add, they don't deserve to wear the 1% patch. Fucking club's all about legit business. And do you want easy money? Duke doesn't sound impressed. I want an interesting fucking life. One where I can act like a fucking man. Duke snorks. I don't believe you. It wasn't you I got my information from, was it, Grit? The man named Grit, who up to now has done and said nothing, shakes his head. Nah, VP, it was a bitch. A bitch? With those two words, you've given me more information than I could have hoped for. Duke didn't stumble across Sappy by accident, and not through any efforts of his own fault or hers. Betrayal burns in my gut, as the gender limits who the traitor could be. It's either the woman who wants me as her old man, or the woman that's supposed to be on my side. My own fucking sister. I count the sweet but I discount the sweet butts who wouldn't dare cross the devils. Susie or Sin, whichever it is, they're dead. Look, I hope it wasn't Sin. The knowledge that it could be sends me off track, when having my head firmly in the game is the only thing that might save me. Garnering all the acting skills I possess, I huff, which isn't an easy thing, with Slip weighing me down, and roll my eyes. And where do you think she was getting her information from? Don't you know about your club? Don't know about your club, but women in ours don't get to know club business. I think Slip wants to shut me up. I sense a taste for bloodlust coming from him as he leans into my neck, making me choke and struggle for breath. Even in my fight to survive, I feel as much as see Safi's dismayed eyes burning into me, but I keep all emotion from my face. It's best if she believes me. Only half an hour ago I'd been devastated to learn she trusted me so little, but hopefully that mistrust I tried so hard to assuage will play into my hands now. While Duke's processing my words, I try to come to terms that if I die today, the fault lies at only one of two people's hands. Out of the two, I'd put money on it being a bitch who all but raped me. Sin? Nah. Can't believe it was her. Or maybe I just don't want to. Sparing one glance at Safi, my gut clenches and I see the look of hatred on her face. Unable to give her any support or compassion, I turn my attention to the man she's still unfortunately married to. Duke is looking at Grit. The man who I knew by hearing his name was the Wolves' equivalent of Token, their computer and information expert. Grit, who's standing casually with his hands in his pockets, shrugs, not giving a confirmation or denial. You want me to leave if it was you? Duke shakes his head, but his pause suggests he's given me the chance to prove it. Taking the gamble that even if it was Sin, she hadn't mentioned me being her brother, I snort. How the fuck else did the bitch get all the information? The woman gags my cock. Getting her to do what I wanted was too fucking easy. I wince again at Safi's blatant look of disgust tinged with disappointment, but I can't offer her solace. Me having a chance to save her depends on getting on Duke's right side, even if it means I land on the worst side of hers. I'm right to allude to Susie as a bitch. Duke grins as though I'm speaking his language. Yeah, most women will do anything for a good dicking. He pauses and kicks out at Safi again, and I have to suppress my wince and ire. Most, he emphasises with a twisted expression. Mentally apologising to Safi, I press my case. Your old lady ran away. Fucking obvious you'd want her back. Heard a fucking stop story and knew the Crazy Wolves were a club to whom I could relate. Kinda hoped you'd return favour for a favour. You want money? Duke raises his eyebrow. Nah, money would do fuck all to help Safi. The only way I'll have a chance of looking out for her is to get them to take me with her. The wolves sound a lot more to my liking than the fucking devils I current ride with. You want in on my club? Duke's eyes widen, while the man pinning me down snorts. Their computer guy covers his mouth and chuckles, while the man who so remorselessly killed Kid laughs loudly, earning him a rebuke. Shut it, Croak. Glancing down at Safi, obviously she's seeing she's in pain and immobile, Duke sits himself on the seat of the couch. Spreading out his arms over the back, he regards me carefully. You fucked my old lady? Fuck her bitch who's carrying another man's baby? I widen my eyes deliberately. Not fucking likely, that's not my kink. His eyes narrow as if my words haven't satisfied him, and says deceptively calmly, So you encouraged her to get rid of my kid? Damn, I didn't realise my words could have a different meaning. I inject shock in my voice. For fuck's sake, man, kill a man's baby, that's all fucked up. I tried to fucking stop her, but the club got me doing shit, and I got there too late. Can't fucking trust bitches. I sneer at Safi. One half of me focuses on this important conversation. One wrong word could end my life, while the other wonders how he seems to know everything. I decide to stick as closely as I can to the truth. I got to the hospital as fast as I could when our guy got the information she was booked in for the procedure. Only, I grimace, I wasn't in time. That's fucking shit, brother. A man should have a say in his kid's future. You don't call me brother, Duke snarls, his face blazing with rage. I file away that information. Then as fast as the sun arrives, it recedes. You're right. That was my kid in her belly, and she fucking killed it. Hospital records show it had ancephaly. The guy with the info reminds him, letting me have some answer at least. Duke's had access to her medical history. But he still might have been born alive, Grit. He might have survived on life support, fucking life support or something. As Safi gasps, I try to piece it together. Why should a living child be so important? I don't take Duke for the caring sort, and proposing to keep the baby alive hooked up to machines is absolutely sick when there's no hope for a positive outcome. I tried, man, I tried. I impressed my supposed efforts on him, shaking my head purposefully sadly. You failed. Duke throws at me in a burst of rage. Then his expression becomes calculating. Why didn't you get news to me sooner? It's been a month since the operation. Damnness is hard. Still pinned, I tried to give a dismissive shrug. I'm just a member. I get told shit. All of the officers knew the deets. I knew she was property, she told me herself, but she wouldn't say anything about your club. I'm a fighter. I don't use no keyboard. It took time to learn you lied with the crazy walls. When I did, I got that info to you as fast as I could. I'm just sorry, man, that it wasn't earlier. His narrowed eyes show he'd remained suspicious. Why use the bitch? He's scared of a fucking phone? I let my eyes widen. Our computer guy has all that shit locked down. I don't think they fully trust me. I know they keep track of the numbers I call, hence I used her. She'd do anything for Cockman, I know, giving a lewd sneer. It's not too much of a stretch. Knowing Susie, she probably would. Could have been sin, I remind myself. Fuck, but I hope not. Duke considers me carefully. See, you got me here and I'm in no mood to give thanks. Shouldn't have had to traipse over half the country to get back what I own. Give me one reason I shouldn't just let Slick kill you. At least he's asked. The stakes are high, sky high, and it's time I plead for my life. But I'm not one to beg and know that wouldn't impress him. No reason at all. I suspect your man here is right. I jerked my head up as I referred to the comment Slit had made about neighbourly concern in Savvy's apartment block. Probably no one will give a damn about a gunshot in this building, but there's a chance they might, and that's an inconvenience you don't need if the cops get called and turn up. I paused for a beat. Thing is, I'm a man looking for a new club, and I might just be the man you want. You think so? Duke snorts and sticks forward, his raised eyebrow challenging me. And what makes you think that? As much as I can, with Slit sitting on me, I puff out my chest. I'm a Marine. I'd still be serving if I hadn't lost half my leg. I'm a munitions expert, sharpshooter, and can build a bike from fucking scratch with one hand behind my back. Marine, huh? Duke pulls at his short beard. After staring at me for a moment, he looks over my head. What do you reckon I say, eh? Another thing learned. Slit is our sergeant-at-arms. We didn't replace Jude, the man remarks, and he's a Satan's devil with no reason to stay loyal. Good points. Duke looks at me calculating. I don't tend to trust niggers, nor men who turn their backs so easily on their clubs. And as you've seen, Croak has no problem killing a man with his bare hands. No need to get the cops involved. He finishes with a kind of there you go smug grin. I ignore the racial slight. It's the least of my worries right now. Having a sense that this isn't going well, I decide to stop talking, taking or lying down. I'm no stranger to working out, and I've had to compensate for my missing leg, and kind of got hooked on going to the gym. To counterbalance my missing limb, I've tons of upper body strength. While I've been talking, I've also been assessing the weight of the man leaning on me, and I'm pretty sure he's more fat than brawn. Tensing, I bunch my muscles, rolling swiftly to take him by surprise. I hook my good leg around his, forcing him to stay on the ground. Now it's me pinning him with my body weight as I grab the gun from his loosened grip and turn the tables on him. When he raises his hands, I stand, but keep the weapon firmly pointed at his head. Seems like your sergeant-at-arms is in my hands, I tell Duke coldly. By now, Duke, Croak and Grit have all drawn their pieces. I'm gambling on how much they value this man's life. Impressive, Duke remarks. Maybe you should just shoot Slick now, seeing as he couldn't hold you down. Not many men can, I respond, continuing to sell myself. And if you need a new sergeant-at-arms, then I'm your man. Stood in for hours when Grumbler came off his bike. Can't see that's a recommendation, seeing as it's a pussy club, he sneers. Yeah, I find an extra weapon in my arsenal and don't hesitate to use it. But it's the pussy club who was keeping your property away from you, and they're the pussies I know everything about. VP? Slick sounds hesitant, as though he doesn't really trust Duke from stopping me from shooting him. A situation I can understand. I find nothing attractive about him myself, and wouldn't even if I wasn't aware of Sassy's history. Oh, for fuck's sake, Duke barks a laugh and holsters his sidearm, and indicates the other two men should do the same. Let the man stand and give him his gun back. He might be a man I could use, he considered me carefully. Need to start at the fucking bottom, of course. You'll need to prove you're not going to step out on us like you have with the Devils. I shrug. It's not like I don't know what I'm stepping into, but I have no doubts. I'll prove myself. Now released, Slit walks over and speaks into Duke's ear. Duke grins in a way I really don't like. He chuckles and turns to me. Slit's just reminded me it's time to get moving, boy. He chuckles when he uses the slight. Just in case those devils of yours have more backbone than you've described and start trying to locate their missing member, which is obviously what I've been hoping, of course. but luckily Duke can't read my mind. Bring the bitch and make sure she does nothing stupid. He tilts his head to one side as if wondering whether I'm going to obey. I have to. I have to jump to his every command as though I really am a new recruit, desperate to prove myself. If only I could take her and run. But having given Slit his piece back, I'm unarmed and faced with 4 men wearing guns. I harden my voice and even smirk, an expression of which I know Duke will approve. I'll keep her quiet. Knowing she is going to hate me, or even more than she already does, I walk straight over to her and jerk her up roughly by one arm, ignoring her wince as I must have touched a bruise. You gonna behave? Fuck you, she spits. I could admire her spirit, but Duke wouldn't like it. Knowing what's expected, I twist the arm I'm holding painfully behind her back. When she yelps, Duke looks on in approval. Never ever have I hurt a woman before. My own behaviour sickens me. The only justification I can use is that at the end of the day, keeping her safe is all that matters, and I've achieved my first objectives, to stay alive and at her side. I hope you enjoyed the chapter reading and that you'll go check out the book. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.